Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of Newsround for Anfield Index. It is Thursday, the 28th of August, and time is ticking until Monday, the 1st of September, 7 p.m, when that transfer window slams shut. My kingdom for a Bomba, I bet many of you are thinking. I'm your host, Dave Davis, coming to you from a pretty... the sun's rising. There's not really too much happening in Edinburgh right now. Fingers crossed it is nice in the world wherever you are. But let's get into it. What's the official business? There's plenty of transfer talk. Of course there is. There's a bit of housekeeping, though, as well, because it is always on the pitch that we've got to talk about to start with and should be the priority. And something was funny last night. Did anyone watch the United Grimsby game? Grimsby Town of League Two, fourth in League Two, knock out Manchester United of the Carabao Cup. United are out when Liverpool weren't even in. Amazing. It was just funny, and hammering with his tactics board and doing all the thing, and his interview afterwards. That will just blow up for ages, which is absolutely magic. But let's get into this. Liverpool enter it now. As it says here, the draw was done last night. Liverpool will host Southampton in the third round of this season's Carabao Cup. Ties in the third round are split across two midweeks due to European participation. Liverpool's game is going to be held in the week beginning September the 22nd, which is going to be one of those Tuesdays or Wednesdays. But it is important, as it says there, to mention, due to European participation. And when we talk about cups, I bet this is the thing you're most interested in. Here's our 5 p.m. today, as it says there, Liverpool will discover their Champions League phase opponents for the 25-26 when the draw takes place on Thursday, later today, 5 p.m. The second season with the revamped format, remember the 36 teams and that massive group table. So a couple of key things that Liverpool have put on the website. Clubs are separated based on seeding into 4 pots of 9 and then be assigned to play 2 sides from each pot, 1 at home, 1 away. So in principle, teams can't be drawn to face a club from their own league and cannot meet opponents from anyone or from any one other, more than 2 opponents, sorry, reading that wrong, from any one other country. So those are the rules. Cannot be drawn to face a club from our own league and cannot meet more than 2 opponents from any other one country. Have you seen the seedings? They're interesting because it's also on the website. Who now, obviously, I think Rangers got battered last night, didn't they? And Celtic are out. Who the opponents could be. So in case you're not reading that on screen, pot 1 could be juicy. In there's Barca, Bayern, Dortmund, Inter, PSG, and Real Madrid. There's probably some you'd handpick there, wouldn't you? Like Dortmund. Probably something you want to stay away from, although imagine a Trent reunion just be funny in a way, wouldn't it? People will say he's not going to play, of course, but yeah, it would just be funny. Pot 2, interesting. Atalanta, Atletico, Leverkusen, Benfica, Bruges, Frankfurt, Juventus, Villarreal. Probably just want to avoid Atletico, but I'd take Leverkusen and 7 Haag, wouldn't you? It is a real mix. You could get a really good, bad draw, although someone will say, and I'll take this point, you think last season we were brilliant in the group stage and we faced PSG, who I think finished 15th or 16th, and look how that turned out. So there'll always be that argument. Top 3 mixed again. Ajax, Bodo Glimt, Marseille, Napoli, Olympiacos, PSV, Slavia Prague, Sporting. Some you would really take. Napoli, we never like going there, do we? So you won't want that one. And then even in pot 4, Monaco, Athletic Club as in Bilbao, Copenhagen, Galatasaray, Kara Almaty, I think it's pronounced, the ones who knocked out Celtic, Pathos, Karabag, Udin SG. Christ, the travelling cop would love a trip to Pathos, wouldn't they, when it's cold? We'll see anyway. Some really interesting seedings there across the mix. We will find out later today who we get when we get them. And let's keep it on official club business and general bits as well, because Liverpool appointed a new member of staff. I'm probably going to butcher his name, so apologies. Luis Fernando Lubel, joining Arne Slot's backroom staff, as James Pearce has tweeted there, as the individual development lead coach, which I think was what Aaron Briggs was doing previously. The Brazilian leaves his number 2 role at Atletico Mineiro and starts with us straight after the international break, 1st of September. Aaron Briggs is set to be confirmed as the first team set piece coach, which, you know, not sure we've been great on set pieces, but maybe that's a discussion for another day. It's interesting, a bit of, flavour from the article. He emerged as the standard outstanding candidate for a rigorous recruitment, which involved Slot, Ward, Marquez, Hughes, and Alex Inglethorpe. And he's got an outstanding reputation in Brazil for guiding the development of young players. So it does seem like they've not left any stone unturned. I think more people will be thinking, been good for set pieces so far since Aaron Briggs has been doing the role. Got to trust Arne Slot's and the bigwigs' judgment on this, I suppose, haven't you? But there's the first bit of official housekeeping. Second bit, Paul Joyce tweeted this yesterday afternoon, and there was mixed reactions across the board. Stefan Bajcetic set to stay at Liverpool and work with Arne Slot and coaching staff on continued development. With Morton's move to Lyon and McConnell set to join Ajax on loan, Liverpool want Bajcetic to remain at the club and build on his performances while on loan at Las Palmas last season. He also counts as homegrown list for UEFA competition. Now, if you're a Bajcetic fanboy, absolutely fair to you. Some people do. I don't see it. He's hardly played any minutes. He's had injury problems galore. And I'm going to be deadly honest, we said it on the transfer show and other pods. The info that I've got is that Liverpool didn't really see him as a first-team option particularly, and many expected him to move on. And some of you are going to jump on that and say, well, hold on, this says he's staying. But it's this phrasing. Work with Arne Slot and coaching staff on continued development. It doesn't say he's going to be a real first-team option or push the first team, and he's just coming off the back of a major hamstring surgery, isn't he? Genuinely, we'll have to see what happens, but it would honestly not surprise me, which is sad in a way, if Bajcetic is playing minutes with the under-21s quite often or doesn't get on the pitch at all, or his minutes are minimal before a January departure. Only time will tell, before anyone starts off in the chat panel, but I just don't see it. To me, if I'm being honest, I suspect this type of thing's happening because they've looked at what offers they've had in the market. There maybe wasn't any suitable. And I think we'll just keep them around as cover. A bit like, do you know what the perfect example is? Sorry? Remember Tyler Morton last season, where he was just sat around as cover, but didn't do anything? I think Bajcetic just picked up that role. Just my honest assessment on it, but we will see, eh? In terms of other news, international break is upon us. And I know it's the same time every year after the first 3 games or so, but I'm just not an international fan at all. And what excites me is when our players don't get called up or they have a rest. Like I'm thinking even Joe Gomez, great chance for him to sort of reintegrate, try and get up to fitness. Don't jump on that, but you know what I mean. So what was the latest developments? Well, it seems Chiesa, this is Nicolo Sciarra, I think it's pronounced. Nicolo Sciarra, I'm butchering that, but who cares? Federico Chiesa is set to return to the Italy national team for the games against Estonia and Israel. When he's not had many minutes, he's come on as a sub, you could argue, but yeah, it's just touch wood, isn't it? Nothing happens that regard. And if you are passionate about your own country and following that, absolutely fair play to you. It just isn't for me. In terms of someone who's not been called up, but don't get too excited from what we're hearing, Didier Deschamps was explaining why he hasn't called up, as it says there, Hugo Ekitike to the full squad. And he did talk about it afterwards, and it's interesting quotes, this one. This is from Deschamps. Hugo, what he did last season and now at Liverpool, we were already following him at Frankfurt. It is good for him. It is great that he is efficient, but there is competition. I am not going to accumulate players, but he has the potential to play for the France national team. Damn right he has the potential to play for the France national team, because in his 3 games for us, including the Community Shield, 3 goals, 1 assist. Looked pretty handy in front of goal, hasn't he? Now, everyone is going to be putting, as I was a bit like, yes, this is great. There's just a word of caution here. There was a report on the same site as well that, which I think is bobbins. There was talk that even at 23, there's apparently an exception rule where you could get called up for France under 20. But I'm hoping that's not the case. But if that, if there's no full cap, there's no under 21 squad, absolutely ecstatic that Hugo Ekitike is getting a bit of a rest. And if anything, he'll probably use it to fuel himself a bit, won't he? So, yeah, there's that one. Other news as well. I mean, as I said at the top of the show, just in case anyone's joining me, because sometimes people put in the chat, what's the latest? We're all waiting for the Bombers. We're all waiting for, as it says there, the Paul Joyce article that comes out this morning, the dominoes that must fall for Isak to get his Liverpool move. As it says there, tweet, Newcastle's pursuit of 2 new strikers is key to Isak's future. 130 million offer may tempt them to sell, but a lot needs to happen before Monday's deadline. Yeah, a lot needs to happen. I'm sure we are working, busy beavering away behind the scenes, of course, but time is ticking on this one. And you would just love a bomber today, wouldn't you? Something to just drop and you'd be like, brilliant. It's absolutely, we're moving, because time is ticking and we do have a game Sunday. Super Sunday. It's almost getting forgotten, is it? 4:30, against Arsenal. Things need to get sorted, and things need to get sorted pretty quickly. In terms of things that look like they are getting sorted, Kostas Tsimikas tweeted this late last night. Fabrizio Romano, Liverpool have informed AS Roma tonight about Kostas Tsimikas now available on a straight loan. Roma are considering whether to proceed and get deal done, as they wanted a buy option clause. Now, we had the report yesterday, didn't it? Liverpool wanted a permanent move. Roma wanted the loan with the options it says there, but they were just so far apart of value. It sounds like Liverpool are going, well, let's just take that off the table then, because you're not going to meet our value. It'll just come on loan. But as it says, Tsimikas is pushing a lot as he wants Roma. I mean, all the chips, as I said yesterday, are on Tsimikas' side of the table, and he may get that loan. I suspect he does end up at Roma. It's just ultimately, is there a buy option in the mix? Speaking of buy options, will Newcastle just get their finger out? Honestly, as all this expectation, they had an improved offer of 55 million rejected. Jan Argefjortoft still saying, the fellow Norwegian, they expect Strand Larsen to end up there. But Keith Downey, one of the Newcastle journalists that covers them for Sky Sports, said they're expected to make an increased offer worth around 60 million. I mean, just to be clear, Chris Williams tweeted it and others tweeted it yesterday. It's kind of almost known in the industry that a deal around 65 to 62 million quid, as long as sort of 60 million with add-ons of some sort or a straight 60, that will do it. Newcastle know this as well, but they do seem to be dragging their feet. This is just a note of caution on this from what we're hearing. Also, the Vissa deal seems to have gone quiet. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. And I won't play the video because you never know if it'll get shut down or copyrighted, but he has his own YouTube channel, Keith Downey. He did say this yesterday at the same time as well. He said, the information I've got is that the meeting with that Isak and the hierarchy on Monday didn't go too well. There certainly wasn't a productive resolution that came out of it. That means there's a fairly high chance as of Wednesday that Isak could leave for Liverpool. So that was the words of Keith Downey on his YouTube channel yesterday. It is just like, please, for the love of God, get on with this, Newcastle. Genuinely, I think what could scupper this is what I think we've always said, Newcastle just not signing strikers or just messing around in the transfer market. It's all there for them. And they're not going to spend 60 million plus. If they do spend that on a backup, as a few journalists from Newcastle have alluded to, it might well be that, say, Larsen, Gordon as an option, or Sula, or whatever he's called, is enough. Yeah, because the relationship is broken beyond repair. And interestingly, all those Newcastle fans who said, well, this will ruin it, he'll come back because it'll ruin his international career. He's been called up to the Sweden squad as well. So, yeah, I mean, God, we won't have too long to find out. That's maybe the best part of this whole saga. And speaking of not too long to find out, Romano tweeted this last night, didn't he, that Liverpool remain in active talks to sign Mark Gay immediately. Liverpool are ready to pay over 30 million now to get the deal done, but it depends on Crystal Palace. If Palace find a replacement and let him go, Gay's already said yes to the Reds. And it is a little bit about two things. Number one, Palace have got their qualifier tonight, so nothing's going to happen until after them. So tomorrow, as we always said, if anything's going to develop on this, people will also say, well, they've got to get a replacement. Now, Akanji has been linked with a few other clubs as well. They made an approach for him. There's the boy at Toulouse as well. So hopefully it's just you want to hear developments from other clubs. I mean, one of the positives that we heard was, and I'm not going to try and pronounce him, but is a striker, I think, Genk, is that Wolves, Tokolo, I'm probably butchering that name, apologies, but Wolves have made a move for him. So you'd hope it's just, that's one of those dominoes, Strand Larson to Newcastle. It's almost not about Liverpool, realistically. It's about what faith do you have in the other teams, Wolves, Newcastle, to do the business? Do you have faith in Palace to bring in a replacement? I think Liverpool are all lined up. They've got the cash ready. But it's Thursday. And this deadline shuts, or the door window shuts on Monday. Time is ticking. And Liverpool have obviously got, not that Arne Slot's, he's got his press conference, but Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards, etc. You do wonder, is there a time? It seems like Gay or no one. But is there a time they pivot at all? I don't think so. Still, if you ask me to bet, I still suspect it is Alexander Isak and Mark Gay at Liverpool before the end of the window. But a third is possible, but we will have to see. Time ticking, eh? So in case you came in late, Liverpool have got Southampton in the third round of the Carabao Cup. That's in the week beginning the 22nd of September. The Champions League. The draw is today about 5 p.m, isn't it? So we'll go through all the faff and they'll pull the balls, but within an hour's time, we'll know who we're facing. Remember, teams cannot be drawn to face a club from their own league and cannot meet more than 2 opponents from any one other country. So those are the key rules to the draw. And when you look at the pots, there's some tasty ones you could face in pot 1, as we said. Barca, Bayern, PSG, Real. Even in pot 2, Atletico Madrid, you wouldn't want to go there. Juventus could be interesting. You'd probably pick Bayer Leverkusen to 7 Haag. Pot 3, there's ones you fancy there that you wouldn't really worry, but you don't want to go to Napoli, do you specifically? And pot 4, well, you definitely don't want to end up at Galatasaray. Even, and I'm probably butchering this name, Kairat Almaty. I think, is that the one where, you're going to Asia, we saw Celtic in that journey. But Union SG, we've played them. And the travelling cop, as I said, would love a bit of sunshine in Paphos during that winter. Badge is staying, probably as cover. There's a new lead development coach. Lubel, I think it's pronounced. Aaron Briggs is staying as set-piece coach. Chiesa set to be called up. Ekitike not set to be called up. And fingers crossed this isn't one of these crazy exceptions that we heard around, that he is too old for under-21s and he gets the rest. Everything else, Isak dominoes. Wolves, Newcastle, just do some business. Roma, just put a buy clause in there that everyone's happy with. We are just waiting on other clubs. We're waiting on Crystal Palace to play their Conference League qualifier. Let us hope the dominoes drop today. As I said a few times, my kingdom for a Bomba. And naturally, as the window's coming to an end, people, we are also coming to an end of the Newsround shows. The last one will be on that Monday, won't it? First thing, Monday, the 1st of September, 7 p.m. There's no sort of late night fax machines or anything. Let us hope Alexander Isak and Mark Gay at least are through the door by then. But there we go. Thursday, the 28th of August. That was another news round for Anfield Index.